Hello students, today we're going to start our day with a very fresh new topic. It is totally based on a very contemporary one also, Introduction to Communications and Computer Network, without which we cannot survive or exist at all in the contemporary world. Because whenever you're going to deal with any of the services, we totally utter the word online services, online activity, sharing the content. So whenever we call share, online activity, uh, dealing with something on the social media, that means somehow we are going to deal with a very hidden component, that is a network part. And whenever it is a network, it is basically based on the technicality of communications. Whenever virtually we are going to communicate with each other, we have to take help of the communications. And in 50% of the cases, computer network is there to support your ambitions. So let's start and please check it out. What are the things can happen and what is the components and better to say the pattern of communications and how does computer network is being structured. So let's start. Now whenever you go for it, first of all you have to find it out why you have to choose a network. Now, why it is not standalone and why is a network? There are certain features of it, better to say the advantages. And the first thing, whatever I'm supposed to go for, that is the sharing resources. I think this is the most prominent feature of any network, that whatever you want to share, if a structure is going to favor that, and that is the network. Otherwise, you can be landing in an isolated world. Now, whenever there is resources, if you consider a computer world, there are basically four different type of resources. Those I can name it out. Hardware, we can name it out. Software, informations, and services. Now, right now, we can check it out that in most of the prevalent cases, services are the particular resource which is being shared very often, very frequently. But ultimately, you have a network, so certain thing can go from A to B and from B to C and so on. So what do you call it? Be better to say it's a network purpose, and it is only possible because you have a network. So whenever you having a resource, if you want to share it, then you have to take the help of network, and it is not being only being restricted to computer network. For any type of distribution network, you can go for any commodity. You are having the retailers network, you are having the distributors network, you are having the dealers network, you are having state-wise distributor network, you have a country-wise distributor network, and so on. That means whenever you have a network, you can share or you can sell, you can exchange, or you can planly distribute any type of commodity and services. So sharing resources is the first and foremost thing. Then there is a concept of 4Rs. That's a very crucial one. Then what do you mean by 4R? That these are right time, right quality, right place, and right quantity. That means right time, right place, right quantity, and right quality. These four things are being connected or attached with a commodity or service whenever you are going to deal with a network. A network is going to help you to serve you, just to satisfy you with their commodity services and support when you want, where you want, what are the things you are going to want, and the quality wise it should be up to your expectations. If you want to deal with that, then you have to take the help of a network. Number three, authenticity. Quality wise, whenever you are going to get something which is coming out from the same source, better to say we can call it a server or a transmitter, the same thing is being available to us as a client or the receiver in the same format throughout the network. So whenever certain music is coming from a particular FM or AM radio stations, what are the component I'm getting, quality based, mostly they are at par. This is called authenticity, reliable, and original. And the number four, the most efficient thing, better to say effective also, that is the cost efficiency. Instead of using physically or manually to get certain things from the source, if you get it on your doorstep, obviously it is going to cost effective. So this is the fourth component. Now let's take about the structure. Now, whenever you go for a structure part, that is the standard format, whatever I'm going to present to you, that four components are there. There you can find it out. A computer is transmitting certain things to B, and it is being receiving certain things from B also. This is going to go through a communication channel, and on the both side, in between a computer and the communication channel, there is an interface. This is called the network device. Normally, this is the standard pattern, and you can better to say it's the basic foundation block for any communication network. So certain things coming from me, and it goes through a network device which is supposed to make the things compatible so that it can be transmitted through a channel or a media. Then at the target point, again it is being interpreted, or it is being converted into such a format so that a machine can understand. So whenever these things are going to happen, then B can understand, interpret it. Then afterwards, if B thinks certain thing is to send back to A, it follows the same type of technicality to transfer the data from B to A. Now check the fourth component of basic computer network. So far the communications are concerned. Now these are number one, I think we have got it, transmitter, server and the source. Whatever you can consider, if I consider it from the left hand side, then A, whenever A is providing support to B, then it should be considered a transmitter or server or the source. And in that case, B can be considered as a receiver, client and target. Now whenever it goes, whatever support it is going to provide, basically I'm going to get it from A. It is going through a special media or channel. We call it a communication channel. It can be wired or it can be wireless. And the number four, I think it is better to say this is the most important supportive component. We call it a networking devices. That means only channel and transmitter receiver is not sufficient enough to deal with the communication concept. There should be proper networking devices which is going to provide the support system for better communication and its processing part. Now let's get to the type of communications that we can have. Now we can check it out. There are basically, I have mentioned four names: simplex, half duplex, full duplex and multiplexing. And if I consider A as a sender or transmitter and B as the receiver, and with the help of arrow, I'm going to tell you what are the different ways of communications, whatever you can find in your real life. They can immediately understand what I'm going to try to say. So let's check it out. I'm going to tell you the technicality. You have to find it out what is happening and what is its real life examples. Number one, simplex. You can find it out that arrow is coming out from A and it goes to B. Now this type of communications where you can find out an unidirectional type of communications, we should call it this type of communication as a simplex. And I think you have understood it and identified it also, that where this type of unidirectional movement of data or transfer of signal is going to take place. Just you can find it out in the television and radio sets. Normally whatever you're going to have, we call it a transistor set. The things are being transmitted or broadcasted from the studios, and we're going to have it with the help of our receiver, whatever you can call it, a radio set or television set. Then you get back to, so it is a unidirectional one. So the reverse is not possible. We cannot send the data from B to A in a standard conditions. Now get back to the point number two, half duplex. Now in half duplex you can find it out, certain thing similar to simplex is taking place. Signals are coming from A towards B, but there is a difference. Now this type of the concept is called push to talk concept. That means you push a button, you speak, that means you play the role of a transmitter, and then give the chance to the other side, that means give the chance to B, so that it can also play that role of transmitter, and then you become the receiver. That means you push, you play the role of a transmitter right now, then give the right or the choice to the other part so that it can play the role of a transmitter and you play the role of a receiver. That means two-way transfer of signal is taking place, but not simultaneously. An example is very easy, you can find it out, walkie-talkie. Now come back to the third part, full duplex. In this you can find it out, the signal is being transferred between A and B in both the direction and simultaneous. We call it a full duplex, the way normal telephony is taking place or the mobile phone or phone. Both the people, the transmitter and the receiver, are sending the data to each other in standard conditions, and we can call it is not push to talk. So things are happening simultaneously. Now the fourth is a very special case. I think it is supposed to be just given an introductory statement in class 10th or 9th, but it is up to that only, not very much complicated theory I'm going to tell you. It is a very simple thing that whenever a number of component is going to provide a different type of frequency signals over there, which is being bundled into or merged into a single frequency channel and being transferred to a single frequency line or channel of signal, we should call it a multiplexing. And at the end point, if you consider A and C as the transmitter and B and D as the receiver, from A and C the different type of frequencies are being collected, it is being bundled or merged, and it is being sent or forwarded to B and D through a single channel or line, and again it is being redistributed to number of component B and D as per its own requirement. We call it a multiplexing or a muxing. Now come back to the assignment part. Now this time we have chosen that there is something challenging is to be given. This time the question is very simple. Can you suggest any specific type of communication network model which can be adopted during distress? Normally it's a challenging one, because in a country like India, whenever you can find out any natural calamities or something like that, normally you are totally going to be dependent on the communication part, and it's effective communications which can also work during distress or any type of disturbances. So this is your assignment. I think it's going to be fine for you. Stay at home, stay fit and healthy, and please ready for the challenge. Thank you.